everybody. It's TJ and Max, and we're here for another movie review. Don't worry, guys. We got other content coming. We got the ideas flowing through the brain meats, and so we got different forms of content. We're just figuring out how we're gonna set it up and get it to you guys. So stay tuned for other types of videos outside of just our movie reviews. But today we are talking about the movie Avatar. Or what is it called? It's called
Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender.
Is that the movie?
Yeah, Avatar Aang, The Last
I kind of got confused. I just know it was just the emphasis of Aang in the title.
The boldest of all bold letters.
Right, so that's why I'm like, is it just Avatar
Aang, The Last Airbender.
Okay. So that's the movie. Yeah. Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender. And so just off of I guess everything that's been going on about the movie since like a few months ago, where apparently the movie was leaked online and stuff like that. I did my best not to watch it online, and I wanted to watch it in theaters if ever possible. But then they said that they weren't going to put the movie in theaters, and they were only going to put it on Paramount Plus only. But luckily, since we live in New York, there you go. There's a title for you right there. I mean, yeah.
Luckily, we was able to get it inside New York.
They had it showing in two theaters, which was one in California somewhere, and then basically just on opposite ends of the United States, the West Coast and the East Coast. But we were fortunate to be at the one in New York, Empire AMC, so we got to see it in theaters, you know, the way that I feel like this movie should have been experienced, to be honest, because we haven't got anything animated from Avatar in such a long time, and
it's Avatar. Come on now.
Even from just the fans voicing that they wanted to see this in theaters, I think they should have just retconned them just releasing it only on Paramount Plus and also released it in theaters. And it just seems so grimy that they're just releasing it for the sake of trying to be nominated for Oscars. Like, you only released it for one weekend just so that you can qualify to be nominated. Like, that's just very petty and interesting. So, like, you know that you have... Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. We're here to talk about the movie.
We're going to be on that for a while, though.
And yeah, so initially, I mean, I was excited. I'm a big fan of the Avatar universe. I think it's probably one of the more unique and it's one of the more unique franchise universes out there to me. Like, to mix martial arts with elements, I think is really solid. But now, in regards to the movie, I guess we'll talk about. We'll just talk about we talk. Generally, the movie for me, I think, looked phenomenal. It looked really good. Like, this animation, this really is like, I think, how the Avatar, if possible, if they ever do movies, like, this should be their continuous format, like, in terms of animating the Avatar into a movie. Like, it's just top notch. It's so clean, crisp. Everything is just so colorful, vibrant, and the animation's just flawless. It's just so fluid, and you know, you just get a lot of emphasis and impact when it comes to certain parts of the bending and just the world in general. I really enjoyed the way that this movie looked. I will say that. Very beautiful.
I think it did. It looked really good. For me, I'd possibly say it was like peak animation style that they could have went with. Like, obviously we got like different sorts of animes and stuff out there in the world, but this had to be my favorite form, I guess you can say, of animation. Like, this, the way they made that movie looked really nice.
It's very interesting because it's like, you know how to classify certain anime. Like, you can say stop motion, you can say like drawing or hand drawn. 3D. I don't know what this would be. I feel like it's a mix. It's a mix of hand drawn and 3D animation. Has to be. I mean, of course, I don't know for sure, but that's what it seems like. But nonetheless, the theater experience was really nice. We were surrounded by Avatar fans. Like, literally, that was it was a packed theater.
Sold out to the brim.
Packed theater. Everybody had, well, you could just tell that everybody in that room were Avatar fans, and it was a lot of adults. There was no kids.
It was all
There was
all people that grew up on Avatar. Like Avatar had to be majority of all of our childhoods. Like that's a old show, and it was like we all grew up with it, and we all wanted more out of that world and stuff like that. And even when they brought it out on Netflix, it was like everybody crowded Netflix. Like I remember in pandemic, it was like Avatar was trending all over again. I'm like, yeah, because we loved that show. Like that show really we grew up with the damn show. Like it was amazing. We wanted more out of it. So for it to bring it back to Netflix and to put it out in the movies, of course we was gonna be out there for it. We was gonna show up and show out for that. Come on.
And the fact that everybody there was just so willing to support the Avatar. There was the girl that was sitting next to us, and she was just geeked out whenever certain characters would come up on screen. She saw Zuko, she saw Toph, and she was just like, "Oh my god, it's Toph!" I'm just like, "Girl, I feel you. Like this is it. This is the movie that we've been waiting for." Just something related to the Avatar universe. Like you see, we're pretty enthusiastic about Avatar.
Did I see the back?
We love Avatar. Come on, I don't even think they could see that. That's Zuko and that's Aang. I don't. Yeah, it's very like light. Not. I wouldn't say fade. It's just such a light on light color. It's so hard to see on camera. But yeah. So once again, yeah, movie looked great. Now in terms of
story,
jeez, I believe that. Okay, so now this is where I feel like some controversy might come about from our opinions, probably because we couldn't help but to talk about the movie afterwards, so we know what each other thinks about it, but we're bringing it here and letting you guys know. But it might be a very controversial take, and that is okay. Everybody has an opinion, and we all need to get used to people having opinions, okay? My opinion is not a fact, so, and neither is his, so, okay? Don't hate. So, nonetheless, we have, yeah, I believe that the story was okay. I feel like it could have been stronger if handled a bit differently. Like I like the whole aspect of them kind of honing in on him being the last airbender and wanting or just feeling lonely when it comes to being the last of his people. And I like that they kind of honed in on that, even though it feels like for the most part the show kind of had that in it as well, and it's a retold story. But you know, it's still okay. Like I just feel like it should have just been handled a little bit more. Like they could have maybe put a little bit more emphasis on the loneliness, because it seemed like when the movie started, it just felt a little off balance at first. It felt off balance. It felt like it was just paced a little quick in the beginning, because it was like, bam, you got the. I don't know if I should say. I mean, it's
no, you can say the name. I feel like you can put the names out and stuff like that. Just not give like specific story beats. I want to say.
Okay, so yeah, it was just the beginning already kind of disappointed me, because Aang gets ambushed by the what is that group?
Denied.
The Denied. She gets ambushed by the Denied because he has something that they want. And in this scene, these guys, the Denied, are non-benders. They don't bend. They use weapons. Now, somehow, some way, I don't understand how the Avatar, the person who is supposed to be master of all four elements, managed to be not defeated, but he really was struggling to hold his own against four non-benders. Or was it three of them? I think it was four. It was four. And I was just like, it kind of took me out. And especially when he went into the Avatar state.
They have dumbed down the Avatar state so much.
I'm a little disappointed with how they represent the Avatar state in this movie, because one thing's for sure, two things for certain. Even though nobody likes the Avatar movie made by what's that guy's name? Where
M
they
Night Shyamalan.
M Night Shyamalan, where they don't even say his name right and they pronounce his name
Aang.
and
We
not
love that
Aang.
name, by the way.
But nonetheless, when he went into the Avatar state at the end of the movie, this man was bending the ocean. He was bending tsunamis. Like he turned in a tsunami, but then I guess he also had the help of the ocean spirit. But at the same time, when we see him go into the Avatar state, we know that his power is supposed to be heightened. But here it just seems like it didn't really emphasize that power on screen too well. And it seemed as though the Avatar state was just weakened. It was barely used.
And it's not even just the beginning scene. The beginning scene is just because that's where we're starting off at, for our breakdown of it. But just throughout the entire movie, it just felt like the Avatar state wasn't what it used to be. Like it didn't feel like it was like as powerful as the world of Avatar says that it is. Like it's supposed to be when I go into that Avatar state, it's over.
Right. Like you hear of Avatar Kyoshi, and she literally broke off an entire island just to protect her people.
And pushed off far, far, far away in just one use of her Avatar state. In one use, she immediately went into the Avatar state, broke that island off, pushed it away, went to a whole different part of the earth.
Right.
With
and
quickness.
Even with the lost, there's a lost Avatar that was mentioned in this movie. And even when they put her lore into perspective, she built an entire temple and was able to the power of the Avatar, I guess, is more powerful in terms of telling a story as opposed to them showing it. That's what I'm just trying to get at. Like they didn't really show the power of the Avatar state too well to me for Aang, and especially since they are adults now. They're not kids like they were in the show. They are adults, and to me, this is supposed to be peak. This is supposed to be their prime.
If you look at how they're designed, they look like this is like their mastery of their elements.
Right, like they're supposed to be absolute masters. Like they know how to use their elements. Aang should know how to master all four elements. Like he is the Avatar, and that power structure just didn't really sit well with me. And going on in terms of the story, there is another character. I forgot his name too.
Oh, the Airbender. The main antagonist of the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, Tonga.
Taga, I think is very interesting.
Toga. Yeah, Taga.
Taga is very interesting. Very interesting character. I liked the persona that he had and just like the arc that they had for him. But once again, the power scaling. He's an airbender. Okay, you're an airbender of past time. It's been over 1,000 years, I guess. Probably longer, but I think they said 1,000 years in the movie. But nonetheless, he's only got airbending. Aang, there's just this one particular scene where Aang is trying to climb up a mountain to get to, I guess, the airbender. And he's struggling against strong winds. And I'm just like, you are an airbender. You're supposed to tame the wind. And you're the Avatar. So this should be nothing. And comparison. I'm going to compare something right now because we spoke about this. So he's climbing up a mountain. I'm sure y'all all know the scene because it's been on TikTok, on Instagram Reels, where Aang, Toph are bending, sliding up the staircase when they were infiltrating Ba Sing Se with the Fire Nation.
No.
They were Earthbeing. Yes. Okay. So they were bending and they were just, rowing up the damn staircase. Now, as the Avatar, who's now mastered all four elements, I don't understand how it wasn't possible for him to do that because he's literally just like hand raw dogging the mountain.
Like he's going up the mountain, and instead of just flying up the going hop, skip, or again making the slide to go up, he's creating small little pillars that he can grab on. Every time he reaches up, let me pull out a pillar real quick. Let me pull out another. Right. I'm like, are we serious right now?
Nitpicking, but at the same time, I feel like these are details that they should have paid attention to, or that I pay attention to, that would have made this film just a tad bit better than what I already thought it was. Because, we've already seen him do certain things before, so if anything, he should be able to do it, if not the same, then better. So, once again, Taga, really interesting, really strong airbender. But why is this airbender able to take on the entirety of Team
Peak Toph, Peak Zuko, Peak
Aang, or Team Avatar?
Peak Aang, 5,000, 100,000 year old airbender. Are we serious right now?
It was just really, it knocked me out just a little bit, because I'm like, wait, so we got Avatar Aang trying to hold up because the mountain's trying to fall. He's trying to hold it up. He's not able to do that. Taga wakes up, one hands this entire mountain with his airbending, and I'm just like,
mind you, okay, what you didn't even say, that man was in the Avatar state, struggling to hold.
And he was in the Avatar state trying to hold it with 2 hands. But Taga just one-handed it like it was nothing. And now I get it. I totally can understand that Taga knows different techniques when it comes to airbending. But at the same time, Aang in itself, they already labeled him as one of the strongest airbenders in his generation. Mm-hmm. So, just to me, I'm just it's strength and technique are two different things for me. Taga, I don't think should have been stronger than Aang. While he could have known more techniques than Aang, he should not have been stronger than Aang. That's just me personally, because he's the Avatar. He knows all 4 elements, and he's an adult. He's in his peak. Taga been asleep for 1,000 years.
That man didn't know.
I'm sorry. I'm nitpicking. We need to talk about the movie. I'm so sorry. I love this movie. I mean, I love the Avatar. It really is just like a universe that I truly enjoy. But now, in terms of the characters in general for Team Aang,
Lord have mercy,
Team Avatar,
I don't understand. We didn't get enough time with Team we got time with Team Avatar, but it seemed like they dumbed everybody down for Aang and Katara. That's it. Everybody else had little small moments, small little segments inside the movie where they did something, but no.
In reality, this movie could have just been called Aang and Katara.
That's all.
To be very honest,
you wouldn't even care, really. You wouldn't even care. I feel like they brought back Team Avatar just for nostalgia case, because Zuko barely did anything. Sokka had barely done anything. Toph did 2 things I want to say in the entire movie, but nothing substantial enough. Mind you, Katara and Aang one-on-one with Taga, doing the most inside the entire movie, having the most screen time in the movie, and it's what did we bring back Team Avatar for? Come on now. You gave barely any screen time to anybody else besides Katara and Aang. And that was very disappointing for me, seeing that, if anything, out of all the Team Avatar, Toph and Zuko are 2 of my favorite characters from the Avatar universe. And you barely gave them any screen time. Again, I mean, we said it a bunch of times already so far, but these characters are in their peak, but yet supposedly they're in their peak, but yet they get reduced to what? Filler? They get reduced to fodder?
Yeah. And that's even in Korra, when Korra goes to see Toph when she's old, and she tested her skills, or did she test? I don't remember specifically, but there was a line that Toph said where she said, "Oh, when I was in my prime, I would have whipped you easily." She was
like,
and
Oh, I remember what scene. Okay, I remember the scene. That was like Korra was like, no, Toph was like, oh, that was fun. I had a great time. Korra was like, I didn't. You just tossed me around all day. I just
Right.
got ragged around all day. And then Toph was like, I know, right? Now imagine me in my prime. I would have destroyed
Yeah,
you.
literally. And so like in the
Prime.
assuming that this is her prime, because now I have reason to believe that them being children was their prime, but
I had to
um
be.
that's all they really use. I'm gonna just go quickly with all the characters, right? So they have Toph. All they kept using Toph for was just to reiterate that she was the greatest Earthbender. They didn't really do anything in regards to her and the connection with just like being a team. Like it did feel like the team was back in certain aspects, but they spent very little time on the team part of things. And if anything, it was just meant for comic relief. And I mean, of
Mm-hmm.
course,
Mm-hmm.
they are a very funny group, but there was no like real beat when it came to the team. And it felt like they were going to have a story beat when it came to the team. And Aang kind of misled his team and they were kind of like on him for that, but they just skipped over it
They say,
as
yeah,
if it was nothing.
it's not the real story beat, so
So
skip it.
yeah, you know, Zuko literally, like you said, just barely did anything. He was there, and that
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
he was
He
there.
was there.
Same thing for Sokka, but
Sokka was the comic relief. He was only there when he needed a joke or needed to, like, I don't know, reset, basically.
yeah, and even still, I honestly think if the I keep forgetting the group name again.
Um, the Denied.
The Denied. If the Denied wasn't in this movie, I don't think
Team
we'd
Aang would have
notice.
did anything. Team Avatar, sorry. Team
No,
Avatar would
I'm
not have
saying
done
like
anything.
if they were absent from this movie, I don't think it would have changed a thing.
No, because even when they're in the movie, they was what? They was in the beginning scene. They was at the end. That's
Right.
it. They didn't do anything in
It
the
was in
middle.
the beginning. They popped up in the middle just a little bit, and then they showed up at the end. And then,
That's it.
yeah, they didn't do enough for me with the Denied. I feel like the Denied should have been more of a plot point to the movie. And they had a point, which was, oh, you know, the Benders have been in power for so long, and they wanted to get bending of their own. But my thing is, with bending, you're supposed to be taught. You're taught how to master. You're taught how to use
Said element.
the element.
Mm-hmm.
But now,
They
fast
was
forward to the end.
they was moving like they had airbending all their life.
They had bending, and they are moving as if they've mastered the bending.
The man who is using his weapon in using airbending with it. How do you know how to do that?
I was just so lost because I'm like, even as a kid, Aang, I guess I don't know the complete lore of what makes a bender and what doesn't make a bender. But I know that for the most part in my head, I'm assuming that you try the technique, and if you're not bending nothing, guess what? You're not a bender. But if you're trying the technique and you're practicing it and something's working, then you happen to be a bender. It doesn't just, oh shoot, I moved my hands and now I'm a bender. That's the whole thing that was missing from this movie, I believe, as well. Each element is supposed to have a form of martial arts. I don't know why I keep looking at the mic like it's a camera. But each form of bending is supposed to be a different form of martial arts. But in the movie, it really just felt like there was no emphasis on the martial arts part. It just felt like they would wave their hands and they had superpowers. And I'm like, okay, well, where's the emphasis on like, you know, technique or something and, you know, moving your body and letting the element be a part of your body movement? But if anything, it's just, you know, like.
Well, when you do that, you get an M. Night Shyamalan movie. So.
Just yeah. I missed the emphasis on the martial arts when it came to the bending, and that's what I feel like makes the Avatar universe so unique because of that.
Tell you, watch watched Damnation.
And I'm a martial arts fan. I love martial arts, and so I felt that martial arts presence was missing in the movie. And like I said, it kind of just knocked me out at the end, where these non-benders just happen to get bending, and all of a sudden they know how to whoop butt against Katara, who's supposedly the best waterbender at the time. Same thing with Zuko. Same thing with Toph.
Same thing.
And I'm just like,
and they're struggling.
They're supposed to be supposedly Team Avatar are the best at their elements. Aang was the best. Well, he was the only Airbender.
I'm glad you said. I was about to say.
But even from before the Fire Nation attacked, he was
a prodigy,
a really strong bender. And Katara, you know, she went to the Northern Water Tribe, and they was like, "Oh, you really strong? Like you're a really strong waterbender." And she learned from them too. And she was the first person to learn blood bending. Toph, we already knew, super strong. Well, she wasn't the first person to learn. Yeah. She learned it. But after that, didn't the lady Hama,
she got arrested, and yeah, they took her back to the cell with no water and stuff like that, and had her kept inside there. Right. She knew how to bloodbend. Like, because Hama was the first one, but Katara learned how to bloodbend from Hama. Yeah. So she just became the one water tribe member, like waterbender in a long time besides Hama, that knew how to bloodbend. Yeah. But nonetheless, still powerful.
Right.
Still powerful for sure.
They're supposed to be really strong, and now that they're adults and they've had time to, I guess, develop the element even more. So this is, once again, emphasizing this is their prime, and they got beat by non-benders that just got bending. And Taga, I liked him as a villain, or as the antagonist. I don't think I would say villain, because, you know, you understood where he was coming from and things like that, and he wasn't like a cold-hearted villain, but he had reason to, you know, believe in his vision and act on it. But it just knocked me out from the perspective that he was just an airbender, though, from 1,000 years ago, and he's just able to destroy Andy and everybody.
Right.
Like
it goes back to what you said earlier. It's like you got power, you got being powerful and knowing techniques. It's like, if anything, the techniques that he was teaching Aang and stuff like that made sense, because Aang didn't know any other airbenders in his time. Like, he had the monks and the other airbenders, but only for a small time. Like, he was only 12 when all of that happened, so he wasn't really worried about learning techniques or how to do this or how to do that. It was like, oh, I made an air scooter, so like I'm just going around and scooting on my scooter, winning races with his glider and all that. Like, it wasn't really trying to learn techniques, so that part made sense. But when it came to just overall power, there should have been no way. Right. There should not have been no way that was even a chance. Because again, all of Team Avatar has been fighting since they were young. Literally. When we seen them, they was all in 12. They was all in the teens. Like, come on now, they've been fighting for basically most of their young lives. And then after that, I mean, if you read the
Aang beat the Fire Lord.
Fire Lord, in my view, he was in his 30s.
And it was what was it, Blood Moon?
No, Solar Eclipse. Sorry, not Solar Eclipse. Fire Lord Sozin's Comet. And that's when Firebenders are at their strongest peak. And yet, Aang defeated him. Now an Airbender comes out of nowhere.
He's just like, wow.
Mind you, he did that as a teenager. Now he's an adult. And he's struggling even more.
If anything, all I'm going to say is I think that the Denied and Taga should have been put together from the beginning. If anybody was to find Taga, I think it should have been the Denied. I don't think it should have been Aang. Because then that would have developed something for the deny, because then they probably could have gotten the airbending and probably learned something from Taga. But as opposed to what we got, it just was like, okay, we wanted to hold on to that. Oh, is he the villain? Is he not the villain? Woo, yeah, he's the villain. Guess what? Wow, bam! Did you see that? Did you see it coming? Like, well, yeah, I kind of did, but they were just really trying to hold on to that shock factor. But I just feel like it would have made more sense if the deny would have found Taga and then Taga would have led them to MacGuffin. I just think that would have made more sense. It would have gave us more, I feel like, time to focus on each of the characters to show off how they are in their prime in terms of the bending, and just focus more on the team dynamic instead of it just being an Aang and Taga dynamic throughout the most of the movie. Aang, Taga, and Katara. Katara had suspicions about Taga. Aang is in love with Taga, and Taga had his own ulterior motives. Certain fight scenes, um, I wanted a little bit more from it, but they were okay for the most part.
I wanted and a lot more from it.
Yeah, because I already said, like, when with the blending, there's supposed to be more of a mix of martial arts so that you can kind of like feel just the passion behind them fighting and everything. But the story was fine. I feel like it was a decent story. Characters looked great. You know, they looked like their adult counterparts. And, you know, they did have a couple nostalgia bits in the movie too. Um
Oh, wait till y'all see that opening. Wait till you see the opening.
Which I think was is really cool. I thought that was really cool. But sometimes it's like, how I like to put it is, if I was to rewatch the movie again, that's like Deadpool Wolverine. You know, I'm talking about a whole entire thing. But that movie was all nothing but nostalgia. And so many people really liked that movie, and I wasn't really a fan of it because, for instance, I'm not like other people, and I haven't really watched a lot of the X-Men movies like when they came out. So certain characters that showed up in that movie didn't really hit me as much as it did for other people. But that just allowed me to see the movie for what it really was. And you can make a good movie and have nostalgia, you know? And I'm saying that to say that even though there was nostalgia in this movie and I got it and I understood it, it still didn't really make it the masterpiece that I feel like this really could have been. Uh so yeah, I mean, my overall rating for the movie, I had to give it a 7. I gave it a 7. I know, once again, the way I was talking about it, you probably think I was going to give it a 5 or something like that. But at the end of the day, no, it was a 7 because I really liked the world. I really liked how they tried to flesh out the story of why they couldn't have any more airbenders, or how they tried and couldn't have any more airbenders. So interesting. Um, I just wish we got a little bit more from Team Aang or Team Avatar, and more from the bending. But that's really it though. But it's still a good watch. Like, if I was to say, if I was to recommend it, I wish you would were able to watch it in theaters. Trust me, I really do. But is it worth getting a Paramount subscription just to watch it?
No. No. Not even worth it. No.
Yeah, I can't. I don't feel right saying yes. No. Go subscribe to Paramount Plus and watch the movie. As much as I want Avatar to be supported, and as much as I want them to do more with the Avatar universe,
no,
I can't openly suggest that you get a subscription just for this movie.
Yeah, I would have to say the same, because it. Again, I agree. As much as I want them to do more with the Avatar universe, it's like this movie feels like a one watch and that's it. It's like you can watch it for the one time just to see what's going on or what happened in the movie, but it's not something that you want to go back to and watch. Like, again, how Avatar came on Netflix, everybody went back and watched it, even though we knew exactly what was going to happen. It was like, yeah, we want to watch it because it was amazing. This is not one of those. This is where you just watch it once, you know what happened in the movie, you either enjoyed yourself a lot or you're like us and we're just very neutral on it. And but that's it.
Yeah.
There's no rewatch to it. There's no rewatch qualities, which is why my score would have to be a 6, just a little bit lower than a 7, um, because many
just a little bit lower.
Just a little bit lower, not too much.
It's one number lower than 7, but just a little bit lower than a 7. You know,
because I can agree. It's like every beat that you said, the bending wasn't how you would want. Like you felt no impact when they was bending. It was just like they were just bending just to bend. It was like you felt no impact around it. Like water, you're supposed to feel the flow of how of Katara's every movement. Earth, as strong and subtle as the earth itself. Fire, just you didn't feel none of that. You didn't feel none of it. It's just like they were just doing things just to do it, and because you knew they were already benders, it was just like, okay, you should be fine with this. No, I didn't feel like they were bending. Like I don't know how else to explain it. It just didn't feel like bending.
Let us know what you guys thought of the movie if you have seen it. We want to hear your thoughts if you're Avatar fans or if you're just a casual movie goer. Like, what did you guys think of the movie? All right, guys. Until next time, we will see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.